Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Shubho Shandhya to all those people in India. I have always been a storyteller and a speaker. Actually, the best part of my years have always been spent in the classroom in front of all my students who still now love me. But there was a story that was waiting to be told, and that story was my life journey of who I am and what I am today. Hello, Carmen. Welcome to the show. On and off, for the last around 15 years, I have been very vocal in my blogs and in my writings, in my Facebook walls. I have always had that urge to talk about lots of issues, lots of things about whatever is happening in the world. But somehow, the storytelling of my story never came into the picture. It was always so many issues that were happening in my life, and I was trying to consolidate myself, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. When I became a mom around 15 and a half years back of a child with invisible needs, I embarked on a lifelong journey of learning to be an advocate. The reason being, right from the start, I have seen that when I'm out in public, people are always watching me because I have a child with special needs. I'm supposed to be the superwoman. I have to keep on smiling, stay calm. I have to hide my exhaustion. I'm not supposed to dominate any conversation. I'm always supposed to listen to people who just have no clue about what's happening in my life. They don't know how many times I'm
Yes,
sleeping,
yes.
how many hours I'm spending in therapy, how many nights I'm just reading about what to do. Means what I could feel initially at that point of time is I'm not allowed to cry, to crumble, and just keep on having a smiling face and telling people, yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm just all right. So one day I decided, yeah, I needed to be heard. But even then, I couldn't speak out. I couldn't have a voice because I was not very confident about myself. What happened was I started maintaining my blog, writing a lot about me, writing a lot about my journey with my daughter. Because the reason being, initial years, at least I can say for the first 10 years, I was clueless. I was a new mom and I had an atypical son. I had to take care of his needs. I was absolutely anyone and everyone told me everything I did as expected. Everything I did was based on the advice of innumerable professionals, self appointed advisors, counselors, astrologers, religious heads, people who literally seem to have taken over my lives. But then, as my child started to grow, even with my son has accepted my daughter the way she is. But as my child started to grow and she started having friends, her atypical or so-called normal friends came to ask me, she talks, but why shouldn't she talk to me? Why is she like that? I want to be friends with her. Why is she not talking to me? So I could see that those people, these small little kids, they were trying to be friendly. They wanted my daughter to be a friend. But to these kids, how do I say that? See, my daughter is suffering from severe anxiety. She has cerebral ataxia. She has apraxia of speech because of which she cannot speak clearly. She has been diagnosed as PDD-NOS, which is, in a layman term, she is supposedly normal. But I know when her anxiety takes over, she's no longer normal. That is the day I realized this is actually, I'm talking about the time just about a year back. I realized that for these kids to accept my daughter needs to be known to them. The parents of this kid need to know how I should deal with this child, because my daughter, if you meet her, you'll find that she's very lovable, she's very hugging, she tries to barge into conversation, she has to be the center of attention everywhere that she is. But for this to happen, this is the reason why I'm speaking of today. I want this journey to be, please, of course, I don't say this is a journey that's complete. Every second I'm spending, I'm learning something new. And today she wanted to be with me, but it was a very stressful situation for me to make sure that she could not join me. But for her to be accepted when I am not there, that's my first priority. And for her to be loved the way she deserves love, I need to tell my story for all parents who are embarking on this journey and who are just as clueless as I was around 15 years back. So, for all those moms listening in, I'd like to say, first of all, as soon as you get a diagnosis, because by the first 6 months of your life, the doctors and professionals give you a diagnosis. They write you lots of things to you, and then it feels as though the whole world has shattered around you. For those moms, I'd like to say first, breathe, because till the diagnosis comes, especially for a mom, it's as though you stop breathing, as though you stop sleeping. Breathe and sleep as much as you want. Cry, howl, take out your support. Not necessarily that everyone is going to support you, but for those people who are supporting you, just open up to them. Just cry, just breathe, just do whatever. Go crazy, big thing. Just get what is in your mind out. For me, I have seen innumerable times I have just gone and hugged my daughter, and I knew that more than her, I needed that hug for me to be acknowledged. I love you. So, for every single mom who's listening right now, and I can see right now quite a many of you have joined, I just tell you, go and hug your child. You need it more than the child needs it. And after that, start accepting your child the way she is. Do not let the diagnosis overwhelm or make you into something or make you behave with the child in such a way that she doesn't understand or he doesn't understand what has happened. Why are the people around me changed? Because that person, that child is the same for you. Her behavior towards you has not changed. Your equation towards her as a parent, as a mom, I'm talking from a mom's point of view, has not changed. You are still the same. Secondly, I'd like to say that please become your own expert, because you will find, what I could find is everyone with very good intentions. I have not seen any bad intentions toward my child. Everyone with very good intentions tries to give you advice that is not applicable for your child. So for that, you have to become your own expert. Like I said, you have to spend minimum first 2 3 years of your child's diagnosis. Spend time reading, joining. We have the Facebook now. Join Facebook group that is particular to your child's diagnosis. Meet with people who are an adult version, a mature version of your child, who knows the journey that your child is going to embark on, so that they can tell you, this is what we found bad, this is what is good, and you can apply it to your child and see what happens. Understand how your child perceives the world. You need to believe in her and keep your focus on her, because that will ultimately make a difference. Whenever I have found some professional telling me to do something, any sort of therapy I have tried, and that has not worked on my child, initially, like I say, for the first 10 years, because I was clueless, I tried to pressurize her, make her do things. And then finally I saw that she was unhappy. She was getting into a shell. I was unhappy because I was not getting the satisfied results. And people who are seeing that I'm going to the professional, they were trying to tell me, you're going there, but why is it not working out? So totally it became a very stressful situation for me, for everyone who are thinking about us, and most importantly for my child, because she has at that point of time still not developed her expression, what to do, how to do. She was just clueless. She was just seeing Mama is always worried. Sometimes I'm just crying, like I said. I spend years at least crying. And I don't know what to do. What to do? That's the only question that came to me. For this, just a point to say before committing to any therapy, because any professional will try the best for your child. They will want the child to come back to the normal life as fast as possible. But before committing to any therapy, that's my personal experience, read the perspective, talk about the perspective from those who have the condition and those practitioners who are going to work on your child, and ask how much success. Tell me your success stories. Have the success been at the cost of changing my child to become someone that her root is not? She is not basically. I do not want that adaptability for my child. If someone cannot accept my child the way she or he is, I will not spend hours on therapy trying to make her something she's not. I want her to stay lovable. I want her to be caring. I want her to be the way she is as she was born. I don't want her to change to become a so
Mm.
called normal as the world sees it. She's loved. She's the only child, she's the only girl in generations in our family. Actually, in three generations, we didn't have any girls. So you can understand how loved she is. So that cause, that root of her love should never get extinct because of some professionals putting on me, let us make your child Roman. So for all the moms listening, I say the same thing. Don't let a profitable industry push you into something you haven't researched yourself. If those with the same diagnosis as your child says, this is not working, don't listen to them. This is bad for me. They say when I was a child, when my mom took me there, I used to feel very anxious. My anxiety used to go over the roof. I couldn't perform in school. I was back in class. Listen to these people. That's why I'm saying get hold of someone and hug closely the person who has traveled that same hard path with your child. You are going to go today in that same path that that person has already traveled. Listen to the advice. That's the first and foremost thing I'm repeating again and again. Next, I would like to say is approach all the challenges with your child. Do every hard work in a fun way, whether it's academics, whether it's all the physiotherapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and any other therapy you're going for, so that the child perceives it as a bump, as a speed bump. She is going too fast, I'm trying to slow her down. If you see it as a speed bump and the child perceives it as a speed bump, she will be able to cross, she will be able to achieve the goal. Or else she will find it as though I won't be able to, and especially when a child has anxiety. And a child like my daughter, I'm specifically talking to her, who has a very good intelligence and a very good common sense, she will understand instantly whether the situation can be accessed by her or not accessed by her. And if she is anxious, she will move out of the situation. So for me to show that I can achieve and for her to get that confidence from me as a mother, I have to make sure that my child perceives it as a path, as a way towards her success. Because finally, as a mom of a invariable needs child, I cannot reiterate this again and again. I cannot say it less, even million times will be less, that your child's happiness comes first. Nothing else matters except for the child to remain the way she is. And only then all the journey begins. Lastly, like coming here, I have found means I have traveled over, and special needs education in most of the countries are integrated. Means kids go to a normal school because they have, if they have a normal IQ and they're intelligent enough to cope with schools, with the backup of the professionals. Means you might have a one-to-one teacher in the class, or you're allowed to go out for some time when you're anxious. Whatever the plans are, majority of the countries worldwide have an integrated and inclusive mode of education. But coming here in South Africa, it has been a tough journey because inclusion is still a very far thing for the setup, because it has just it's setting up everything. The professionals are just coming into the fore. So for me, for the initial, I can say 3 years, I was just means she was going to a proper grade in a school, and from there to just make her turn into homeschooling, it has been a very major transition for me, into the sense that I thought of going back and leaving my husband and even my kids alone so that I could cope with her. Because in other places, I had people to talk to, I had people to discuss. This is happening with my daughter. How do I do? There were professionals to say, yeah, okay, if this is not happening, she's not able to do even in academics. She's not able, she's very good in maths. So other than that, she's very bad in writing. So she's not writing. Okay, what's the other option? We have age, we have this and that. We can see lots of things. But here, like I said, coming here, I had to take charge of her education. Fully education, I'm talking about the academics, I'm talking about her speech therapy, and I'm also talking about the occupational therapy. Every once a year, when I go back to India, I spend 2 months on rigorous occupational speech and physiotherapy wherever I am. Rigorous in the sense 8 hours a day. Not to put pressure on my daughter, but for me to learn what I need to do for the next 10 months that I am going to be here. So it is, I find, means you won't believe, when I come back home after that, I just feel like going off to sleep. No eating, nothing. I just feel like going off to sleep. So it's just as exhausting for a mom as much exhausting as it for a daughter. Actually, because my daughter, the type of diagnosis my daughter has, she strives on exercise and swimming and basketball and all these jumping things. She doesn't actually get so tired as I do. That's something I've seen. I'm the person who feels as though I have gone for an exam and I come back home and Mama, just give me food. I want to sleep. You can take care of my kids. I know no one. Bye bye. That's exactly what happens. So, what I want to say is you have to take charge of your child's education. Some countries you will find they're not good in, they have very strong regulations to bypass your child. Schooling is very costly. There might be lack of funds on your part. You might not have a support system when you are going to a new country, which was a very big thing for me before. Believe me, Carmen, thank you for that. Before I met you, my support system was almost zero. My friends were all the professionals that were working on my daughter. Those people who had kids who were playing with my daughter, that was my support system. And because my daughter is in one of those invisible gaps, you can't know. She's neither a special, neither a normal kid. So in the gap she is, all her friends are majorly normal kids. So how do I explain to these parents what I'm actually feeling? So it was always a pressure on the professionals and all the friends back home whom I used to call even at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. This is happening. How do I do? Or as I read, I used to put my questions into Facebook group on a daily basis, which was very stressful. So the support system is very important. And what I have personally
Yes,
felt is, of course, I think it's for everyone. A person who has crossed through this journey, who is holding my hand in the same way that my daughter is crossing through now, is the best person to guide me, irrespective of the professionals, very efficient professionals who are there. I'm, of course, thankful to them. But like they say, no, first hand knowledge, when you're getting from someone, you're always getting it to know better. This is what I feel that my cumulative journey of today till right now, till this moment where I'm talking, has been. And I will never say that I would not like it to be repeated. Yes, if given a chance, I am not sad. I'm very happy. I'm not one of those moms who are sad with my daughter's diagnosis, blah, blah, blah. I'm very happy with the fact that I have been granted this opportunity to make her a daughter, because she's a daughter, to make her a strong woman, which I, as a normal, so-called normal person, could not ever become. She has the possibilities because she has a mom with her. So with these, and she has someone to guide like Carmen. So with this, I'd like to put it to Carmen Williams to share her part of the journey from a point of view of a child growing up with invisible needs. Because the reason why I got Carmen in the conversation is like no one is bothered about the invisible need kids. Everyone, if you have a special need, if you are a handicapped child, there are some criteria in place. If you are a normal child, you know the equation, you are struggling, you are doing. But for a child who has these invisible needs, we moms have to come together and do something so that our child can develop, because they are not special, they are not handicapped. I am not saying I have anything against them, but when I go for any sort of testing or when I go for any sort of disability certificate or things like that, my child falls through the cracks. And when I ask her to go to normal school, again she falls through the cracks. So for these kids like mine who falls through the cracks, who is supposedly normal but still has invisible needs, I really need to listen to Carmen's journey to understand how much struggle she has faced and how can I overcome them. So thank you, Carmen. I would like questions from everyone who is listening right now.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Carmen. Thank you. Absolutely.
You can hear
You
me?
can hear me? Yeah, absolutely, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
I had a very
I had a
hard
very
journey
hard journey
with
with
autism.
autism.
I grew
I
up
grew
not
up
knowing that
not
I was
knowing that I was
autistic.
autistic.
I was
I was
diagnosed with
diagnosed with
ADD,
ADD,
ADHD, tic
ADHD, tic
syndrome,
syndrome,
dyslexia,
dyslexia,
all of
all
those.
of those.
Because back in
Because
the
back in the
day,
day,
um,
um,
girls didn't
girls
have
didn't have
autism.
autism. Yeah.
It was a
It was a
boys.
deeper voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, um,
hard.
hard.
Primary school was
Primary
very
school
hard
was
for
very
me.
hard
I
for me.
struggled
I
a lot.
struggled
I
a
had
lot.
to
I had to
have a lot
have
of
a lot of
extra
extra
classes. Now, I was
classes.
in
Now,
normal
I was
school.
in school.
There wasn't special
There wasn't special
education
education for
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 me.
me. Um,
I didn't grow up
I
with my
grew up
parents.
with
I
my
grew up in
parents. I grew up in
removed there
moved
because of
there because of
abuse.
abuse.
Um,
Um,
so it was
so
hard
it
for
was
me.
hard
It
for
was
me.
hard. I didn't
I didn't
understand
understand
like nothing.
like nothing.
I didn't
I
understand
didn't
anything.
understand anything.
Right?
Right?
I couldn't do
I couldn't
math.
do
I
math.
couldn't
I
talk
couldn't
right.
talk right.
Um,
Um,
So I had
so
to have
I
a lot
had
of,
to have a lot of,
and I will never
and I
forget.
will
I was
never forget. I was
three
three
things,
things,
and I was
and
sitting at the
I was
teacher
sitting at the
desk,
teacher's desk,
and one of the
and one
children
of the
asked, "Why
children
are
asked,
you
"Why are
sitting
you
there? Why am
sitting
I
there?
not
Why
sitting
am I
with the
not
rest of
sitting
the
with the rest
class?"
of the class?"
So she
So
said, "Because
she said,
Carmen
"Because
is
Carmen
special,"
is special,
and I will never
and I
forget
will
that
never
because
forget
it actually
that
made me
because it
feel
actually made
special.
me feel special.
She didn't make me feel
It
that
didn't
like
make
there
me
was
feel that
something
like
wrong
there
with
was something
me.
wrong with me.
In school,
In
I
school,
excelled
I
in
excelled in
water was my
water
thing.
was my thing.
Underwater
Underwater
hockey.
hockey,
I did
I did
athletics. I was a
athletics,
hockey
I was a
player.
hockey
I did
player, I did
judo.
judo,
Physical
physical
sport.
sport.
I excelled
I
in that.
excelled in that.
Also
Also
in the
in the
arts.
arts,
Um,
um,
that was one of
that
my
was one of my
strong points,
strong
I will
points,
say.
I will say.
A problem
A
for
problem
me
for me
was
was
communication.
communication.
Communicating what I was
Communicating what I was
feeling.
feeling.
Getting
Getting
across what
across
I was feeling,
what I
how
was
I was
feeling, how I was
feeling.
feeling.
Also
Also
understanding what another
understanding what
person
another
was saying.
person was saying.
Because I can
Because
hear
I
the
can
person
hear the person
today.
today.
I have a problem
I have a problem
understanding.
understanding.
I can hear
I
you.
can
I
hear
know what you're
you. I
saying.
know what you're
But
saying.
words reach my
It reached
brain
my
somehow
brain
that
somehow that I,
you know.
you know.
So there is a
So
problem
there's a
there.
problem there.
Um, let me
Let me
check.
check there.
That is a huge problem. I
That
will
is a
say
huge
that was
problem. I would say that was
my biggest
my
problem. Also with
also with
it's very innocent for
innocence
trouble.
for trouble.
So we are
So we
youth
are
targets,
youth target,
bullying,
bullying,
abuse,
abuse,
all that type of
all
stuff.
that type of stuff.
I was
So
I was bullied in
I was
primary
bullied
school
in
and a
primary
little in
school.
high school. But when I was in
When
standard 9,
I
those
was,
years we had standards.
we had standards.
And not great like
not
now,
great like now, you know.
Yeah.
And when I was
And
in
when I
standard
was in standard
9,
9,
I went to
I went
George
to
to a
George
girls'
to a
school
girls' school
for special
for
children,
special children,
for
for
girls
girls
who didn't actually matter
actually matter
where,
where
which in
which
their life.
in their life.
But I
But
really
I
enjoyed
really
that
enjoyed
because
that
they
because they
focused on the
focused on
sports
the
and the art.
sports and the art.
They didn't
They
focus
didn't focus
as much
much
on
on
the academic
the
side of
academic
things.
side of things.
Uh,
Uh,
we
we
had,
had,
um,
um,
in the old
in the old
needle work, we had
work, we had
typing, we had cooking,
cooking.
stuff like that. We didn't have
We
science,
didn't
we
have
didn't have
science, we didn't
engineering,
have
we didn't have
engineering,
that.
we didn't
So
have that.
that's
So
a huge
that's
plus
a
for
huge
me.
plus for
I
me.
really
I
excelled
really
in that
excelled in
subject,
that
also in
subject, also in
sports
sports
and
and
in my art.
in my art.
Um,
Um,
when I left
I left
school,
school.
in that school I wasn't
In
bullied
that
at
school,
all
I wasn't
because
bullied at all because I was,
when I left
when I left
school,
school,
met
met
someone
someone,
and I couldn't
and I
see the
couldn't
sign,
see the sign,
see the red
see the
signs,
red
the red,
signs, the red,
as they say,
as they say,
because we were so
because we were so
gullible,
gullible.
because we believe
We believe
everything they say.
everything they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Autistic people
Autistic
usually
people
tend to
usually
be
tend to be very
pure of
pure of
heart.
heart.
No,
No,
they don't.
they don't.
They don't
They don't
believe that
believe
other
that other
people
people
can be
can be
evil.
evil.
I mean, I'm
I
turning
mean, I'm turning
44 this year,
44
and
this
I'm
year,
still
and
having
still having
trouble
trouble
believing that.
believing that.
Thinking that how
Thinking
can
that how
somebody
can
do
somebody
that?
do that?
People really do
Really
that?
do that?
Today for
Today
me, I
for
still
me, I
trust
still
people because I know I'm
because I know
extremely
I'm
gullible.
extremely
I know
gullible.
I believe
Now I
everything
believe
everybody
everything
tells
everybody
me.
tells me.
Um,
Um,
Another thing is showing emotion
Is
with
speaking
us.
out. Yeah.
You back?
you back?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Just getting
Okay.
caught up. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I missed this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay. So
another thing is
another thing for us
showing
is showing
emotion
emotion
because
because
there's a lot of
there's a
people
lot
out
of
there
people out
that
there
we don't
that
have
we don't have
empathy
empathy
and
and
we like
we like
practically don't have
practically don't have
emotions, but we
emotions, but we
do.
do.
We really
We
do. We
really do.
feel
We
very
feel
deeply,
very deeply,
although we don't
although
really
we don't
show it.
really
We
show it.
don't know
We
how
don't
to
know
show it.
how to show it.
And that's the
And
only
that's
reason
the
we
only
don't
reason
really
we
show it.
don't really
We don't know
don't
how.
know how.
Being
Being
neurodivergent is very
neurodivergent
hard
is very
in
hard
a
in a
neurotypical world.
neurotypical world.
In all
In all
areas, like
areas,
jobs,
jobs,
I really
I
struggle
really
to find
struggle
a
to
job
find a
that I
job
can
I
do
can do
well. And I'm
well.
not
And I'm
talking
not
about
talking about
um,
um,
even
even
odd jobs. I
odd jobs.
struggle with it
Struggle with it
because
because
it's hard for
it's
me to
hard for me to
understand.
understand.
Why do I
Why
have
do
to
I
do
have
it
to
like
do it
this?
like this?
It doesn't make
It
sense
doesn't make
doing it like
sense
this.
doing it
And
like
if it
this.
doesn't make
If it
sense
does
in my
make sense
mind,
in my
I'm not going to
mind,
do it
I'm
like
not
that,
going to do it like
even though
that.
I was
Even
told
though
to
I
do it
was
like
told
that.
to do it like that.
Yeah. Can you see me? Yeah. Yeah. The signal is getting off. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear me? Yeah.
You can hear me?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
even though it
even
was
though it was
explained to me,
explained
I
to me
was
and I was
told that
told
this
that
is how you're
this is how
supposed to
you're
do it,
supposed to do
I
it,
really
I
had
really
trouble
had trouble
doing it
doing
exactly
it
like that.
exactly like that.
So
So
what
what
what works
what
best
works
for
best
me
for
is to
me
show
is to
me.
show
I
me.
have to
I have to
see how
see
you
how
do it.
you do it.
Don't just
Don't
tell me
just
how to
tell
do it
me how
because
to
I
do it
won't be
because
able to
I
do
won't
it.
be able to do it.
Um,
Um,
if you show
you
me how
show
to
me
do
how
it,
to do it,
because I'm very
because I'm very
visual. I have to
visual. I
see
have to
you
see
do it, and then
it,
I
and
can
then
do
I
it.
can do it.
That's much
That's
easier
much
for me.
easier
You
for
may
me.
have
You
to
may
show
have to
me
show
10
me 10
times,
times,
but if
but
you
if
just
you
tell me
just
how
tell
to
me
do it,
how
you're
to
going
do
to
it,
have to
you're
show
going to
me
have to show me
300
300
times, and then
times,
I'm still
then
not
I'm
going to
not
get
going to
it.
get it.
So it's much
So it's
easier
much
to
easier
show
to
me how to
show me
do
how
it.
to do it.
Also,
Also, what I
what I find helps is um, to look at things from a different angle. Like, I know it's hard for some people sometimes to see or to look at things from another person's point of view, especially when it's a neurotypical person. Our brains are
brains are
different,
different.
wired
Why
differently. We really do
we
operate on a
really do
different
operate on
system.
a different system.
So for us to
So for
act
us
like
to
a
act like a
neurotypical person,
neurotypical
we have to
person, we
mask.
have to mask.
We have to wear that
We have to
mask
wear that
of
mask of
fine, yes, I like it here.
like it
Um,
here. Um,
um, I don't have a problem with
I don't have
anything.
a
I
problem with
understand
anything.
everything.
I
Even though
understand
I'm going
everything,
crazy
even
in
though
my
I'm
mind. I'm
going
not
crazy in my mind.
pretending.
I'm not
I don't like it
pretending.
here.
I don't like
I
it
might be
here.
getting cold
I might
because
be getting
we are
cold because
sensory.
we
We get cold
sensory
very easily.
get
We get
cold very
hot very
easily. We get
easily.
hot
We
very
don't like
easily.
certain
We don't
smells.
like
We don't
certain
like certain
smells. We don't
tastes.
like
We don't like certain
taste.
feels. And it's not that no, I don't
And it's
like
not
that.
no, I don't
It's
like that.
literally
It's literally
like
like
it causes pain,
it causes
physical
pain.
pain. Some
Physical pain.
sounds cause it.
Please, please
Sounds
tell me
causes
one thing, Carmen. Did you ever crave for sweets? My daughter loves sweets, and means it's a cycle. Means I give her sweets, she becomes more anxious. She has trouble sleeping, but she loves sweets. Means if given a chance, she would have eaten sweets the whole day. So is that something you crave? You still crave for?
I'm sorry, can you just
I'm sorry,
repeat
can
that?
you
I'm
just
having
repeat that? I'm
trouble
having
hearing
trouble
you.
hearing
I have
you.
to put my earphones on,
I have to
otherwise
put
I
my
can't
earphones
hear
on.
you.
Fine.
Otherwise,
I
I
was
can't.
just saying, do you have an affinity to a particular type of food like sweets? My daughter loves sweets, and when she has sweets, she gets more anxious and she cannot sleep properly. She has this restless legs at night. She's thrashing about in the bed. So, do you have affinity towards a particular type of food?
Food.
Food.
Yeah.
Um, we
We
prefer certain
prefer
types of
certain types
food,
of food.
yes.
Yes.
Sometimes some
Sometimes some
autistics, I've
autistics
heard,
I've
will
heard
only
will
eat
only
that
eat
type of
that type of
food.
food.
They won't
They
eat
won't eat
anything else.
anything
If they
else. If
find a
they find a
liking in a
liking in
certain
a
type of
certain
food,
type of food,
they will
they
not
will
eat
not
anything
eat
else.
anything else.
It's like a
It's like
special
a special
interest.
interest.
Our special
Our special
interests are
interests
a
are
lot like
a lot like
OCD, but
OCD,
just
but just
10 times
10 times
worse.
worse.
Okay.
It's something
It's
that
something that
really interests
really
us. We
interests us.
really
We
find
really find
comfort in that.
comfort in that.
Like
Like
food,
food,
it
it
smells
smells
really good. It
really good.
tastes
It
really
tastes
good. I'm
really
not
good.
going
I'm
to eat
not going to eat
anything else.
anything else.
I've had, I've had
I've
that,
had that,
yes,
yes,
but
But it
but
not.
goes,
not.
means it goes away as you mature, as the child grows up. As the
I'm
child
sorry.
I'm
grows,
sorry.
as the child grows, it goes away.
Yes,
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 it does.
it does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learn
We
to
learn to
adapt.
adapt.
It's not
It's not
easy, but we
easy, but
do.
we do.
So for me,
So for
I
me,
didn't eat
I
certain
didn't eat
foods as a
certain foods as a
child
child
because of the
because of the
texture,
texture,
because of the
because of the
sensory
sensory
thing.
thing.
But I do eat it
But
today.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
it does,
it does.
sometimes it does go away.
Sometimes it
I
does go
don't
away.
know of
I don't
anybody
know of
that it didn't
anybody
go
that it didn't
away,
go
but it
away,
does
but
go
it does
away,
go away.
yes.
Yes.
And also
And
our
also,
special
our
interests
special
can
interests can
change.
change.
Although
Although
we might
we
have
might have
one that
one that
sticks with
sticks with
us
us
from the
from the
diapers to
diapers
old
to
age.
old age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A special
A special
interest can
interest
change,
can
or
change,
you
or
can
you
lose
can
it
lose
and then
it
it can
and then
come
it can
back.
come back.
Yeah.
Let me just
Let me
look
just look
here.
here.
Did talk
Did
about
talk
the
about
special
the special
interest, the
interest, the
empathy thing.
empathy
It's
thing.
for
It's for
me,
me.
it hits
It hits
hard because
hard
a lot
because
of
a lot
people
of
will tell
people
me
will
I'm a
tell me I'm a
snob
snob
I'm an
I'm
ice
an ice
queen, and
queen,
it's
and it's
really not
really not
that.
that.
Sometimes all we're
Sometimes
trying
all
to
we're trying
do
to
is
do is
sum up the
sum up the
situation.
situation.
Sometimes we
Sometimes
just
we
want to
just want
see
to
where
see
do
where
we
do
fit
we
in
fit
this
in this
conversation.
conversation.
Where do I
Where do
fit
I
in with
fit
these
in with these
people? So
people?
I'm
So
trying
I'm
to figure
trying to
out,
figure
okay,
out,
I'm
okay, I'm
supposed to
supposed
look
to
like
look
that.
like that.
I'm supposed
I'm
to
supposed
speak
to
like
speak
that.
like that.
I'm supposed
I'm
to say
supposed to
things
say
like
things
that.
like
So
that.
now I'm
So
putting
now
on
I'm
my
putting on my
mask.
mask.
I'm just
I'm
like
just
you. I
like
fit
you. I
in
fit
here.
in here.
But the
But
truth
the
is
truth
that
is that
you feel very
you feel very
different
different
inside.
inside.
We have
We have
extreme
extreme
empathy
empathy
for
for
especially
especially
animals
animals
Yes.
and
and
people in
people in
situations like
situations like
ourselves,
ourselves,
and also
and
for young
also for young
children.
children.
But we
But
don't
we
really
don't
show
really
it because
show
we
it because we
don't know
don't know
how to
how
show
to
it.
show it.
But there
But
are
there are
certain ways that
certain
we do
ways that
show
we
it,
do
but
show
just
it, but just
people need to pick
people
up
need
on
to pick
those
up on those
cues.
cues.
Like this one
Like this one
time,
time,
I, I can't
I can't
remember who it
remember who it
was.
was.
I
I
told
told
somebody, I
somebody, I
like
like
you.
you.
And then my
And then
daughter
my
said,
daughter
you
said,
know, if my
you know,
mom
if my
says she
mom says
likes
she
you,
likes you,
it actually
it
means she
actually means she
loves you.
loves you.
And I thought to
And I
myself,
thought
she
to
picked up
myself, she
on
picked
that.
up on that.
If I say,
If
oh,
I
I
say, oh,
like
I like
you,
you,
I
I
really like
really
you.
like
Otherwise,
you.
I'm not going to
Otherwise, I'm not
say
going to
it.
say it.
So,
So,
yes, that
yes,
is a
that
thing.
is a
And I
thing.
also want
And
to
I also
come
want to
back
come
to the
back
whole
to the whole
innocence thing.
innocence thing.
Um,
Um,
I think that
I
is
think that
directly
is directly
connected to our
connected to our
empathy.
empathy.
Somebody once
Somebody
said, I
once said,
watched
I
this
watched
TED
a
show
stage
that
show
said
that said
she's
she's
autistic, and
autistic, and
I don't know
I don't
where
know
she got
where
her
she got her
numbers from,
numbers
but
from, but
apparently
apparently
autistic people
autistic people
feels
feel
200 times more
200 times
intense
more intense
than
than
neurotypical people.
neurotypical people.
For me, that
For
was
me, that was
accurate
accurate
because I do
because
feel
I
so
do feel so
deeply, whether
deeply,
it be
whether it
sadness,
be
whether it be
sadness, whether it be
anger. I mean,
anger. I mean,
yo, have you
have
seen
you
autistic
seen
people get
autistic people
angry?
get angry?
It's very
It's
destructive.
very destructive.
So
So
I try not to
I
get
try not
angry.
to get angry.
Luckily for me, I'm not
Luckily
an
for me,
angry
I'm not an
person.
angry
I'm a very loving
person. I'm a very
person.
loving person.
Yeah, my
But
daughter is
But
not angry at all. Never. Never gets angry. Yeah.
so
so
it
it
is.
is.
It's
It's
hard. Being
hard. Being
autistic is
autistic is
hard,
hard,
but it's
but it's
also very
also very
knowing that
knowing
you
that
are
you are
different and
different
that you
and
have a
that you have
place
a
in this
place in
world.
this
Because for
world.
me, for
Because for me, for
years
years
before I found out
before I
that I was
found out that I was
autistic,
autistic,
I didn't
I
know where
didn't
my
know where
place
my place
was. I
was.
didn't
I
know where
didn't
I
know where I
belonged
belonged
until
until
I
I
met the
met
autistic
the autistic
community.
community.
And I
And
found out
I
I was
found out I was
autistic, and
autistic,
I
and I
went there
went
and I was
there
like,
and I was
yes,
like,
I
yes,
do
I
that.
do that.
Yes, I
Yes,
can do
I can
that.
do that.
Yes, I'm like
Yes,
that as
I'm like
well.
that
So
as well.
now
So
I know
now
I
I know
fit
I
in.
fit in.
There's not
There's not
anything wrong
anything
with
wrong
me
with
because
me because
I felt
I
like there
felt
was
like there was
something wrong
something
with
wrong
me.
with me.
People would
People would
say,
say,
you're going to have to
you're gonna
find a
have to
man to
find a
look
man to
after you
look
because you'll
after you
never be
because you'll
able
never
to
be able
work.
to work.
And that
And
hurt.
that
And it was like,
hurt. And it was
why
like,
do you
why do
say
you
that?
say
There's
that?
nothing
There's
wrong
nothing
with
wrong
me.
with me.
I have extremely
I have
high
extremely
IQ. I'm
high IQ.
extremely
I'm extremely
intelligent. So
intelligent. So
why can't I
why can't I
work?
work?
So when I
So when
actually
I
went
actually
out
went
into the
out
world
into
and
the world
tried
and
to
tried to
work and find
work
a
and find
job,
a job,
it was very
it was very
hard.
hard.
I couldn't
I
do
couldn't
it.
do it.
I had
I had
autistic
autistic
meltdown.
meltdown.
That is a
That
very
is a
hard
very
thing for
hard thing
us.
for us.
We don't know. We
We
don't
don't
have
know. We
any
don't have any
control
control of
of our
of our
emotions, how we
emotions, how we
feel,
feel,
how are we
how
going
are
to
we going
do
to
this.
do
It's
this.
very
It's
hard.
very hard.
It is a
It is a
dark hole
dark
that you go
hole that you
into,
go
and
into,
it's
and
like you
it's
can't get
like you
out of
can't get
it.
out of it.
And
And
sometimes,
sometimes,
especially for a
especially for a
child, a
child,
lot of
a lot
people
of
think
people
that it's
think that it's
tantrums,
tantrums,
and it's not
and
a
it's not a
tantrum.
tantrum.
It's
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 they don't
they don't
want
want
control.
control.
It's like they
It's like they
cannot control
cannot control
themselves.
themselves.
And
And
I feel very
I feel
sorry
very
for
sorry
children
for children
with
with
autism,
autism,
and people
and
just look
people
at them
just
and
looking
they're
at
like,
them and they're like,
Absolutely.
can't
Yeah.
you teach your
can't you
child
teach
some
your child
manners?
some manners?
They're not
They're not
behaving. And it's like,
behaving,
you
and
don't
it's like you don't
understand. This
understand. This
child is
child is
actually going
actually
through
going
a
through
medical
a medical
emergency,
emergency
because that is
because
what it
that is what
is.
it
The
is.
heart
The
rate
heart
goes
rate
up.
goes up.
Um,
Um,
it's
it's
it feels like you're
it feels
going to
like you're going to die.
You don't know what
You
to
don't know what
do.
to
I do
do.
face this situations, let me tell you, Carmen, especially in places, like I said, my daughter can realize the situation she's in. So if she finds a place where people are, she feels her perception that they are going to be judgmental, she just tries to leave out of the situation. And at that point of time, if we try to force her, like sit down or don't do this or don't do that, she just gets what's the exact word I would say? She gets very triggered off. Means even after we take her from the situation, it takes her a long time to calm down.
Yes.
So yes, that's something means as though she is in a trance, if that's the exact word I can say.
Yes.
Means yes, it looks she's in a trance, no control what's happening, or means she's not like I say, she's not a very rowdy or very shouting sort of person, but she will say, let's go for a few times, and then if you don't go, she will start shouting. And after she starts shouting, she suddenly become absolutely dead and calm. Means calm in the sense, it's as though you are talking to a stone. She's not moving, she's not reacting, means something like that happens. She goes internal, means which I fear, means a lot of times. That
She goes
she
into
goes into
herself.
herself. Yeah, I mean she just becomes like a rock. Means you can't push her and make her move. You can't make her walk. You can do nothing with her that point of time. So that's
I
something
think
I think that is
that is because
that is because
where she
where she
goes into her
goes into her
mind, she's
mind,
safe
she's safe
there.
there.
It is like
It is
a
like
safe
a
place we
safe
go
place we
to.
go to.
Um,
Um,
since she doesn't
since she
have any
doesn't have any
control over
control
what is
over what is
happening,
happening
and not what
and
is
not
happening
what is happening
around her.
around her. Yeah, I think she forgets to speak because I have people who told me
Yes.
that yes, when she's very anxious, you make her talk so that you know what she's feeling. But what at least till now I have found, she just forgets to speak. Means after seeing this let's go and the shouting a few times, she so her total vocabulary is gone. Means she just like I said,
It does,
that
yes.
does yes. Stone. Yeah,
It
it
happens. I
happens.
also
I
suffer
also
from
suffer from
selective
selective
mutism.
mutism. Okay,
When,
how do you come out of that?
you know,
You know, I do take her to a single room, sit with her, hug her, make her drink some water, or put some light
yes,
music. Yes. Um,
things that
things
are
that are
sensory
sensory
friendly.
friendly.
For
For
me, it is
me,
like
it is like
touching a
touching a
cat
cat
or a
or a
bunny, you
bunny. You
know,
know, okay.
nice
Nice
smells,
smells,
smells that I
smells that I
prefer, but
prefer, but
nice smells.
nice smells.
The
The
colors, not
colors,
very
not
bright
very bright
colors, like
colors, like
um,
um,
earthy tones and
earthy
stuff like
tones
that.
and stuff like that.
When I'm upset
When
and
I'm
I
upset
don't
and I
know
don't know
how
how
to
to
communicate,
communicate,
I don't know if
I
there's a
don't know
link
if
there, but
there's a
if I
link there, but if I
don't know how
don't
to
know how
communicate
to
my
communicate
point across
my
to
point
you, I'm
across
going
to
to go
you, I'm
mute.
going to
I'm not
go
going to
mute.
say
I'm not
anything.
going to say
And it's
anything.
not like
And it's
a
not
lot
like
of people
a
feel
lot of
that we are
people feel that we
manipulative.
are
We're not
manipulative. We're not
manipulative. We
manipulative.
don't
We
have,
don't have,
what is that
what is
called?
that
That
called? That
when you get
when you
angry
get
and you don't
angry and you
speak to
don't speak to
people,
people,
um,
um,
I'm not sure
I'm not
about the
sure
word
about the
now,
word now,
but it's
but
not
it's not
that.
that.
It's
Opposite, I shout a lot more when I'm angry, and my daughter just shuts down. So I find it
yes,
very
we
yes,
we shut down
we shut
completely. It's
down
like, you
completely.
know what? I
You know
know,
what? I
I know
know,
what I feel,
I know
and
what I feel, and lost their hearing. Means initially it did happen. Means when she was very young,
you know,
it used to happen. So she's not hearing. Means she's not listening. And I used to
I think
literally
she
shout.
is.
I think she is listening. Are you listening? It was
I
that
think she
point of
is
time. I think she
listening.
is listening.
I get that a lot.
I get that a
I'm
lot.
smiling
I'm
because
smiling because
I'm actually listening to
I'm
somebody,
actually
and
listening
you.
to somebody, and
It's
you.
like you're telling
It's
me
like you're
this
telling
because
me
I
this
get that a
because I
lot. You're
get
not
that a lot. You're
listening,
not
and it's like, no,
listening,
I
and it's
am
like, no,
listening, but
I
it's
am
like it goes in
listening.
here.
But
For
yeah,
instance,
for
close the
instance,
door.
close the
I know
door.
what the
I
door
know what
is.
the
I know
door
what
is.
it
I
means
know
to
what it
close
means
the
to close
door.
the door.
But the minute
But
it
the
goes
minute
into
it
my
goes
head
into
and
my
it's in
head
my
and it's in
brain is like,
my brain
what is the
is like,
door?
what is the door?
How do we close it?
How do we close it?
And so
And so
now I'm trying to
now I'm
figure
trying to
out,
figure out,
okay,
okay,
where's the
where's
door?
the door?
What is the
What is
door?
the
How do
door?
I
How do
close
I
it? But I
close it?
know
But I
how to
know
close
how
the
to close
door.
the door.
And that
And that
sometimes
sometimes
happen
happens
when we
when
are
we are
starting to
starting
suffer
to suffer
from
from
autism
autism
exhaustion,
exhaustion,
from masking
from
too much,
masking too much,
maybe we were in a
Maybe we were in a
situation where we had
situation
to
where we
do
had to
things
do things
that
that
required our brains
required
to
our
work
brains
very
to work
hard,
very hard,
or to
or
think in a
to think
different
in a
manner
different
than
manner than
which our brains
which our
are
brains
wired
are
to
wired
do.
to do.
So now it's
So
very
now it's very
exhausting, extremely
exhausting, extremely
exhausting.
exhausting.
Now we start to
Now we
forget
start to
things
forget
like,
things
now
like,
people are
now people are
saying,
saying,
you're not
you're
listening.
not
And it's,
listening. And it's,
I am
I am
listening. I know
listening. I
exactly
know
what you're
exactly what you're
saying.
saying.
My brain
My
just
brain
can't
just
process
can't
what you're
process
saying.
what
So
you're
now I'm
saying. So
trying
now
to
I'm
figure
trying
it
to
out.
figure it out.
So I'm sitting
So I'm
here
sitting here
thinking to
thinking to
myself,
myself,
how the
how
hell am
the
I going
hell
to
am I
close
going
the
to close
door?
the door?
I know what it means. I just don't
I
know how to physically do
know
it because
what it
it's
means.
like
I just
there's
don't
this
know
gap.
how to. So that is a
So that is a hard
hard
one.
one.
That is a
That is
that
a
for me
that
is
for
under the
me is under the
understanding, the
understanding, the
communication
communication
thing.
thing.
Sometimes I can talk your
Sometimes
ears
I can
off,
talk
and
your
then other times I
ears
won't say a
off
word. I will
and
just
then
go mute. And it's not because I don't like you or I'm angry
go
at
mute.
you. It's just
Because
that I'm
I
in my
don't
own
like
little
you,
world.
angry at you. It's just that I'm well.
So yes.
So yes.
And let me
And let me
see
see
here.
here.
And
Oh, and
social
social
cues.
cues.
That is a hard one
That
for
is a
me.
hard one for me.
Yeah, with my daughter, like I said, she loves hugging. She likes being in the center of conversation. Means you cannot have a conversation where she is not included. Means that's something
Oh
that is
yes.
missing from
Oh
me.
yes.
Yeah, she likes to be
Yes.
the center.
Yes.
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 Um,
Um,
for me, it's
for me,
important.
it's
I always
important. I
say
always
being
say being
included
included
equals love.
equals love.
So I
So
totally understand that
I
one.
totally understand that one.
Um,
Um,
I
I
struggle with
struggle
social
with social
cues.
cues.
I
I
struggle to
struggle to
know,
know,
is it my turn to speak
is it my
now?
turn to speak
Is this
now?
conversation
Is this
over?
conversation
Are you
over?
flirting
Are you
with
flirting
me?
with me?
What does that
What does
mean
that mean
exactly?
exactly?
So
So
metaphors, reading
metaphors,
between the
reading between the
line,
line,
stuff like
stuff
that,
like that,
I don't get
I
it.
don't get it.
Words are literal to
Words
me.
are literal to me.
So
So
some
some
metaphors I've
metaphors
learned
I've
through the
learned through
years,
the years,
okay, that doesn't
okay, that
actually
doesn't actually
mean
mean
what it
what it
says,
says,
but a lot
but
of
a lot of
times,
times,
yes,
yes,
people will laugh
people will
behind my
laugh behind
back
my
because
back
I will
because
take
I will
everything
take everything
literally.
literally.
So
So
that is also a
that is
thing
also
for
a thing
me.
for me.
Still struggling
Still
with that
struggling with
today,
that
but
today,
I've
but
learned to
I've
laugh
learned
at
to laugh at
myself.
myself.
So when I
So
don't
when
get
I
it
don't
and
get
people
it and
start
people
laughing,
start
I just
laughing, I
laugh
just
with them because
laugh with
it's
them because
funny.
it's funny.
But it's hard. It's hard in the
But it's
beginning
hard. It's hard in
when
the
you don't
beginning
understand
when you don't
something and you
understand
think that
something
people
and
are
you think
laughing
that people
behind
are
your
laughing
back because
behind
you're
your back because
stupid
you're
or something.
stupid or something.
Because
Because
I had
I
that
had
for a
that
long
for a
time,
long time
thinking that
thinking that
everybody thinks I'm
everybody thinks I'm
stupid.
stupid.
But today
But
I just
today
don't
I just don't
care.
care.
I mean, I
I
know
mean,
who
I
I
know who
am.
I
I know
am.
what I'm
I know what I'm
capable of.
capable of.
I know I'm
I
not
know I'm not
stupid.
stupid.
So I don't
So
care what
I don't
people
care what
think of
people think
me.
of me.
So
So
yes.
yes.
Is there
Is there
anything else you want me
anything
to
else you
cover?
want me to cover?
How does your daughter
How
feel
does your
about
daughter feel about
water?
So
water?
much from what you have told me. I have made a page of notes which I'm going to share with you because this I need more elaboration of how to deal with them as my daughter grows a bit more. She has, of course, her confidence has definitely improved, spending more in our company, but still, when she goes out, she does feel, for the first few times, she does feel very stressful. And then she has started, I think she has started to cope. She has learned
Yeah,
to cope. Yeah. That is
yeah.
an aspect
Also,
which
Also,
structure and
structure and
routine is very
routine is very
important,
important.
yeah, I know.
extremely
Extremely
important.
But
important.
what I tell you means I also do find it difficult. Like we are in a society where we are going to be surrounded by judgmental people. It's a fact of life where people are going to judge you for everything, just for
Yes,
to make themselves superior or for them to feel comfortable as compared to you. So how do I put this to my daughter that you do, even of course, even with my son I have this problem. I won't say it's only with my daughter, that You do what you are supposed to do. Let the people who are going to say something say. Or is it something to do with age? Because it took me around 30 years to analyze that myself. That I don't give a damn to the world. I will do what I feel like. Means,
Yes.
but
Yes.
What
something
helped
What
me
helped me
in that
in
was
that was
I had I
I
had a
had
lot of
I had a lot of
people
people
celebrating me.
celebrating me.
Although
Although
you know my life
you know
story,
my life story,
you know the
you
abuse, the
know the
bully, the
abuse, the
everything.
bully, the everything.
But there was
But there
always
was
people
always
that
people that
celebrated my
celebrated my
uniqueness.
uniqueness.
They showed
They
me
showed
that
me
being
that
who you
being who
are
you
is
are is
actually a
actually a
jewel. It's a
jewel. It's a
gem.
gem.
So
So
ever since I
ever
was
since
very
I was very
little, there
little,
were
there
people,
were
I don't know, I
people, I don't
think
know, I
God
think
put
God
them
put
there
them there
specially,
specially,
like the
like the
diamond in the
diamond in the
ashes.
ashes.
Um,
Um,
that
that
showed me,
showed
listen
me,
here,
listen
what you
here, what
have is
you
a
have is a
gift.
gift.
What
What
you
you
possess, who
possess,
you
who
are,
you
your
are,
whole
your whole
being
being
is a
is a
gift.
gift.
Don't
Don't
ever forget
ever
that.
forget that.
Celebrate
Celebrate
who you
who you
are.
are.
Love
Love
this
this
jewel.
jewel.
Look
Look
around you.
around you.
See that it's
See that it's
hard.
hard.
Know that it's
Know that
not
it's not
easy.
easy.
And then you look at
And then you look at
yourself
yourself
and you see,
and you
I am
see,
the
I am
jewel
the
in all
jewel
this
in all
chaos.
this chaos.
I can make
I
people
can
feel
make people
better.
feel better.
I can make
I can
people
make people
believe
believe
again.
again.
And then you
And then
do
you
that
do
just
that
by
just
being
by being
myself,
myself,
just by
just
showing
by
up
showing up
and
and
taking up my
taking up my
space.
space.
You know,
You know,
even if I
even
don't
if I
say a
don't say
word,
a
even
word,
if I
even if
just
I
sit
just
there,
sit there,
by taking
by
up
taking
space and
up
just
space and
being
just
who
being
I
who
am
I
and
am and
loving who
loving
I
who
am. It
I am.
doesn't
It doesn't
matter who
matter
I
who I
am,
am,
but I am
but I am
unique and
unique
I am a
and I am a
jewel.
jewel.
I always
I
had
always
people in
had
my
people
life
in my
telling me
life
that.
telling me that.
So even
So even
throughout my
throughout my
abusive
abusive
years,
years,
I could never
I could never
believe when
believe
he
when
told
he
me I'm
told me I'm
worthless.
worthless.
I would never
I
believe
would never
that
believe that
because
because
ever since I was a
ever since I was
child,
a
there were
child,
those
there were those
people telling me, and
people
I
telling me,
believed
and I
them.
believed them.
And that is
And
important. I
that is
think that is
important. I think
important
that is important
for
for
people with
people
disability
with
to know that
disability to know that
even my
even
disability
my
is a
disability
gift.
is a gift.
It may
It
seem to
may
the
seem to the
neurotypical world
neurotypical
as a
world as a
disability,
disability,
which in
which
this world
in
it
this world it
is,
is,
but it's
but it's
actually a
actually a
gift.
gift.
I believe what my experience has been that whether a neurotypical or any world means uh, it's something like this bullying game, like it happens everywhere. So I feel that everyone tries to put you down somehow to just prove their superiority. So
Yeah,
I don't feel it has got anything to do with having a disability or not having. It has
yeah,
got to do with the tendency of humans, I can say, because animals are
yeah,
different. Yeah. Absolutely. It's the tendency of humans to try to find a fault in you and just try to control you. What I could find is if they know a fault of
yeah,
yours, they will be able to take control of your situation, your life, your thoughts. So for that reason, they try to put everyone and everyone into some box. And anyone who thinks out of the box is a what do you say? What is the exact word? Either you have to be invisible, or else you will be bullied, or else you will be a special child, something like that. A tag.
yes,
They will try to put a tag or a label on you.
yes,
So yeah, that's because I feel because of their comfortability, they are trying to put a tag on someone. Means I have found in normal conversations, oh, that girl, she talks too much. Oh, that girl, she wears too much makeup. Oh, that girl, she's not good. Means when we are referring to normal, I'm talking about the normal world, they are still putting people of their kind into boxes. So
yes, labeling them.
Labeling them.
they expect, if I am, of course, as a mom, and that's what I want to put into my daughter, that what can you expect from others who are putting their category of people into different boxes? So you will be thankful that you are put into a box right at the start. So you know what the expectation from the world from you is going to be. So based on that, you don't give a damn. That's what it is. You
Exactly.
don't give a damn, but she does. That's the problem. At her age,
Yeah,
she
because
has
Because
she
She does
still
give a
loves
damn
me.
because she's so
Yeah,
empathic.
yeah, she
Yeah.
still she cares about people and about people who are not caring about her. That
Yeah.
is something that really hurts me as a
Oh,
mom.
shame.
And of course, I try to stand as much as I can between her and the world, but it's not possible. It's physically not possible, mentally not possible for anyone to
Yeah,
do
she
that.
must just believe, but she's still small, but just keep that you are the gem, and a lot of people are jealous because you are different. They don't understand. So what they will do is they will try to bring you down to their level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she must just know, stand in who you are, and just
I'll
don't
do
ever
that.
forget who you are.
I think, yeah, this has been a great conversation, Carmen. Do you think you want to share? Means I can go on whole night. It's the night almost reaching now. This is such a beautiful means. That's why I keep telling every mom I meet, do you know someone who is because lots of times without going into any particular type of therapy means I am a very strong means you can say protester of certain type of therapies that are given to uh, kids like mine and it has also happened that not here, not in this country. Some other. I think she was in the US of A or one of those islands there, those Ocean Pacific islands. So this lady at night she called me that let me tell you, means it's just a conversation without going into things. She was asked by her doctor. Her child was 18 months. Her doctor asked her to put into ABA for 36 hours a week. And every person who has autism, I have heard and talked, they have absolutely said it's dog training. That's the exact word they used. And they also said that a dog training that is not good for the dogs. Means it is brutal and abusive for the dogs.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
it is. So when I told that to that lady, as a mom, I know you're very like I was in a position once, so I advised her that it might appear that your daughter is going normal, but for these people who I had talked to, they all told me that they used to be more stressful when they came out of the therapy, like I told you initially. They used to be
Extremely.
very stressful. It used to be like that because their mothers or even in some cases grandparents have been the caregivers, it was like as soon as they came out of the therapy, they were literally hammering the hitting out, crying, means all sort of bad behavior with the primary caregiver because that's their soft zone. So when I told this to that lady, she was very bad towards me and she said, "You don't want your child to be normal? So why are you stopping me?" And the conversation ended. But means what I personally feel is that's why I always for the last 10 years I take the opportunity to talk to people who has faced this. Like I'm telling, I know as of today that this therapy I'm talking about is very harmful for the child. And
Yes.
if I know any mother who is starting with it, who is already into it, the first thing I tell is, why do you want your child to be normal? Means are we
Exactly.
are we
They
coming
weren't
out?
born.
Coming out, or do we want every individual in the world to be different and loved? We have so many issues, like we have this Black Lives Matter, we have this LGBTQ, we have handicap, we have a physical. That when we are talking about an inclusive world, why are we not talking about your child or my child being accepted or loved the way they are? So why
Yes.
do I need to put them as a parent? Why do I want to put them in a box when society is already trying to put them in a box? My viewpoint
Yes.
is I am trying to do it, but sometimes I really get disappointed when parents say that you are not trying to do good for your child. You are trying to harm your child by not letting her become normal. And my criteria since the last 10 years of talking and now, of course, I'm physically meeting you. Before that, when I was writing and I was in these groups and trying to find out, my criteria has always been my daughter to be accepted the way I am. Why does she need to change for anyone? Anyone who loves her will love her the way she is. And
Exactly.
yeah, and when I'm applying it same to my child, why you as a mom is not understanding the simple thing that it's not normal. You don't need your child to be normal. Do you trust a
Exactly.
person who has a single leg? Means, of course, we have that also. Means we make it a special case. A person who has one leg and he takes a first leg and he runs the marathon and he wins. and we make it into a big thing. Oh my goodness, we couldn't accept that the person has persevered. We don't accept that perseverance. We say that this physically handicapped person has succeeded in a normal world. We put a criteria into that. So this is the
Yes.
type of inclusion I am very strongly working for. But I, of course, there are moms who listen